The following creepypasta that you are about to hear is not real. These are made-up creepypastas that I write myself. Thank you, and have a good day. I love collecting old game consoles, almost to the point of addiction. I have consoles such as the NES, SNES, N64, GameCube, Dreamcast, PS1, PS2, and many more. I collected so many consoles that some of my friends would ask to come over to my apartment just so they can play some of my game consoles. I even had game consoles I didn't like the Atari Jaguar and the Sega Saturn. I just love console collecting. And then I heard about the Virtual Boy. One of my friends who was just starting console collecting told me about the Virtual Boy, which was a supposed virtual reality portable gaming console released by Nintendo in 1995. It was a commercial failure, being discontinued in early 1996, with only about 700,000 units sold. He also explained that the games were all in red and black, and it reportedly caused motion sickness, seizures, and eye strain. And it was covered in warning labels saying that players under 7 years old can have harmed eye development because of it. The Virtual Boy was rushed to market because the Nintendo 64 had been delayed until late 1996, and Nintendo wanted at least some hardware out there to compete against the Sony PlayStation and Sega Saturn. But even with all the eye strain stuff and its commercial failure, I was still interested in getting it. Besides, I had a few consoles that were commercial failures, like the Atari Jaguar. I looked for a Virtual Boy on eBay and found one for about $100. I ordered it, and it came in about a week. The package had a sticky note on it, saying, "Warning, do not play this system for over 15 minutes. Always take a 40-minute break in between play sessions." I had little intentions of playing it. A good majority of the old game consoles I own, I don't play very much. But when I do get them for the first time, I always play them for a bit and then put them away. So, I unboxed it, set up the system, and placed it on my table. The system that I purchased on eBay came with 4 games: Mario Tennis, Telro Boxer, Virtual League Baseball, and Wario Land. I heard that Wario Land was the best game on the Virtual Boy, at least compared to the other ones, so I played that game first. So I loaded it into the system and turned it on. I positioned my head so that I can see the screen within the system, and I held the controller in my hands. It was at this point that I saw the startup screen, and the first thing I saw was the same text that was on the sticky note on the package. Warning, do not play this system for over 15 minutes. Always take a 40-minute break in between play sessions. Once again, I did think this was a normal warning, because the system did cause eye strain. But the fact that it tells you to take a 40-minute break specifically caught me as a bit weird. But I decided to shrug it off and play. Next, I saw text that said Virtual Boy, which once again was normal. And then I got the message asking me if I wanted to turn on the auto pause, which was a feature on the Virtual Boy which paused the system automatically every 15 to 30 minutes so you can take a break. I had it set to off, mainly because I figured I wouldn't be playing this system for very long. And then the game started. Wario Land is a game where you obviously play as Wario. The game is a 2D platformer, and the gameplay mechanics is that Wario can be shot into the background of the level, which sort of adds a 3D effect. Personally, I don't think this game should be on Virtual Boy, but nonetheless, I liked it. It kept me playing, and I ended up getting to the 4th level of the game, which was the first boss. However, I had lost track of time. Realizing this, I moved my head away from the system, rubbed my eyes, and turned it off. And that's when I stopped. I noticed that I couldn't see certain colors anymore. More specifically, I couldn't see the colors blue, green, or orange. I sat back down, trying to process what was going on. It was around this time that I heard breathing, coming from behind me. Don't look behind you, Jimmy. Nothing good's gonna happen. I thought to myself as I closed my eyes. Wait a minute, I thought. This is all a dream. It has to be. Maybe if I close my eyes long enough, I'll wake up. So, I kept my eyes closed for as long as I possibly could. I had my eyes closed for probably a good 2 minutes, until the darkness of my closed eyelids quickly turned to a dark shade of red. I opened my eyelids, only to realize that this wasn't a dream. I also realized that I was starting to lose my ability to see yellow. I started to panic. Are my abilities to see colors like white, purple, pink, brown, and all those other colors really going to disappear one by one? The breathing sound behind me grew louder, but I still opted not to look. My heart started racing. Was all this happening because I played this virtual boy for too long? It couldn't be. Could it? As the breathing behind me grew even louder, I whipped my head to look at whatever was behind me and yelled, "What do you want?" My jaw dropped when I saw what I was looking at. It was a towering figure, and it was all red and extremely skinny. Its fingers and feet were nothing but 3 spikes. It didn't even seem to have joints in the limbs, because the legs were sort of curved downwards. Its mouth was sort of hanging down, kind of like a droopy expression, as if its jaw was loose. Its eyes, though, its eyes weren't there. Instead, there were 2 big lumps on where his eyes should be. I stared at this thing for a moment, as its breathing grew louder and louder. And then, it said something. "You appear to have been playing your Nintendo Virtual Boy longer than 15 minutes. That was a bad decision. A very bad decision indeed. I recommend you do something now, because soon you will be unable to see any color other than red and black. And eventually, you will lose all your ability to see at all. You will soon see nothing but red for the rest of your life." The words it spoke were muffled, but somewhat understandable. It then vanished, and I noticed that my vision in my left eye slowly started to disappear. I started to panic. I had to call 911 or something. I can't just sit here and let this all happen. As I got out of my chair, my vision in my left eye started to disappear faster. And then I noticed I have lost the ability to see every color other than red and black. And it wasn't long before I couldn't see anything out of my left eye. And then I noticed my vision in my right eye was starting to disappear. I had to call 911 now. But with the blindness in my left eye and the severely reduced vision in my right eye, I had to feel the walls to get to my bedroom, where I had left my phone. I slowly inched myself against the wall, so I didn't bump into anything. And it was even harder to see now because I can only see red outlines of the walls and the objects in my house. I managed to feel my way to my bedroom, and luckily, I remember leaving my phone on my bed, because it was relatively easy to find it. I picked up my phone and turned it on. Now, due to my reduced vision, I had to put my phone right up to my right eye to see it. I could see the screen, but only in red outlines. I pressed the emergency button and dialed 911, and thank God I couldn't see the numbers I was pressing. It was only a few seconds, as all I could hear the 911 operator's voice. 911, what's your emergency? Hello? Yes, I need an ambulance. I'm going blind. The operator told me to remain calm and explain the situation to him. I figured that he wouldn't believe that a video game console was causing my blindness, so I simply stated that I was just sitting on my bed, and I started losing my abilities to see colors, and I was nearing the point of complete blindness. I told him where I lived, and he said that the ambulance will arrive shortly, and that I should remain calm until then. I hung up the phone as I laid on my bed and took a deep breath. And that's all I remember before I blacked out. I woke up with a light blinding my right eye. I immediately noticed that the vision in my right eye had improved a bit, but I could only see in black and white at this time. The next thing I noticed was that I was in a hospital, and I saw a doctor sitting next to me. "Ah, glad to see you're awake. The operation was a success," he exclaimed. "Oh, what operation?" I replied. The doctor explained that when the ambulance arrived at my apartment, they found me laying on my bed, unconscious, and that my eyelids were completely red. He also explained that they found my virtual boy, and that it was burnt up bad. When I asked the doctor what exactly I had, they said they had no idea because they never dealt like a situation like this before, but they were looking into it. And then I asked if I was going to be able to go home, and they said they want to keep an eye on me, just in case my condition got any worse. So that meant I was going to be staying at the hospital overnight. Nothing much happened over the course of my stay at the hospital, other than asking the doctor questions about everything that happened, and my vision getting better and my abilities to see colors improving a bit. When I finally got home, I saw that the virtual boy was gone. I didn't really care though. I never wanted to play that thing again. But here's the aftermath. My vision in my right eye has fully recovered, and I can now actually see out of my left eye, but it's very blurry, low resolution, and has a mild sensitivity to light. And I'm also starting to see some colors now. I can see green, blue, brown, and a little bit of yellow so far. But while I was in the hospital, I asked the doctor about this, and he said that I'll probably never be able to see some colors ever again. I don't collect retro game consoles anymore, because of that goddamn virtual boy. Ruined my love of collecting. But I still play video games, but only on stuff like my PS4. I still have all the retro game consoles I've previously collected before I got that virtual boy. But I threw them in my closet, never to be touched again. Because all they remind me of is the time I got that red and black monstrosity. I actually almost forgot about that red figure I saw during the whole fiasco. When I got home from the hospital, I grabbed some paper, a pencil, and red colored pencil, and drew the red shade, as I call it, for you to see. Here it is.